Hi, I'm Brian from the Ensemble Edge Cloud team. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to verify the services you launched on Ensemble Connector. To get to this point, we've already done three things, so let's review. First, we installed the connector image on our server. Next, we created a connector instance in Ensemble Mano. When we did that, we also picked the application that we wanted to run on Connector's cloud. In this example, it was a FortiGate firewall. Finally, we connected that server to the internet, entered the unique identifier on Connector's splash screen, and let Ensemble launch it using zero-touch provisioning. We watched it complete on the Connector splash screen. Now we're going to look at that instance in the Ensemble Mano. So let's log in. On the Overview tab of Director, we see now that one connector is deployed and its ZTP status is green and its operational status is green. So let's go to the connector inventory. Here we see the host name that we expect and that its ZTP and operational status looks good. With the three dots on the right, you will find more ways to drill down on the connector instance. For instance, we can log into the connector OS, we can see alarms on that instance, we can see detailed information about the status, and we can actually look at the service topology. Let's look at that now. The Service Topology tab lets you see the VNFs that make up the service. In this case, it's the FortiGate VNF. But the view also shows you the Layer 2 services that Connector built to connect the VNF ports to NICs or to other VNFs. You can see as I am selecting services, the corresponding sections in the table below are also highlighting. And in these sections are columns for all of the service ports on that service. We'll show how to use this in other videos, but for now, know that this is a very powerful diagnostic screen if you are troubleshooting throughput or performance issues. Now let's go to the Orchestrator screen. Ensemble Orchestrator gives you detailed information on the cloud and virtual services. First, let's look at the cloud that is running on our connector. When we look at our Cloud Resources screen, we see our connector's cloud is up in green. On this screen also, we can see how much of our connector cloud resources are being used by the virtual services we launched. In this case, it looks like we have used 13% of the cloud disk, 33% of the cloud CPU, and 40% of the cloud memory. Finally, let's go back to the services. Now on the previous tab, we saw the connector cloud status. Here we see the virtual service of that cloud, which is also green, which means it's operational. When we click on the details, again, there are a lot of options for drill down. We'll just look at one, the VNC console into the VNF. This service launches a terminal into the CLI of the application we launched, which in our case is a Fortinet firewall. We know the password for this VNF because we entered it as a value when we created this connector during ZTP. The Ensemble Mano passed it in as user data when it launched the VNF on Connector's cloud. After we log in on the console, we are now in the CLI for the Fortinet firewall, and we can interact with it just like we do a physical Fortinet appliance. So there are a lot of tools for looking at and verifying your connector cloud in Ensemble Mano after ZTP. For some of you, using the templates we provided may be all you need to launch your services and begin using them. For others, you may soon want to add new applications or modify the templates we provided, and we will help you do that too. But until then, we hope this gives you enough information to get started. So try it out, play around with the user environment, and start launching services.